What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, we're back with a video I really didn't want to make. I'm really frustrated. I'm really aggravated. I've given it a lot of thought and consideration, and I decided we're going to go ahead and make the video, man. We're following this through, and there's going to be more drama to follow this video, I'm sure. Although I'm quite hopeful that we're about to reach the end and hopefully a conclusion, a satisfactory finale to this epic disaster that is known as my 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel with the SST, the straight six turbo Hurricane Nightmare. So I'm a little on the bum side because I went out and spent about $60,000 buying myself a nice new truck. Unfortunately, they didn't have the Hemi anymore. And even more unfortunately, the truck that I traded in was a 2023 Ram 1500. It was a limited. Guess what? Hemi, yeah, e-torque, not a problem. Had over 30,000, 35,000, 36,000 miles on that truck. And they were trouble-free miles. Never had to do anything. Just oil changes, tire rotations, and that's it. And then I went to trade it in and get a brand new truck, as I do every year or two. And, well, they told me, oh, we don't have a Hemi option anymore. And I was like, you don't have a what? What do you mean you don't have a Hemi option? Nope. They deleted the Hemi. And in its place, you could get two varieties of a straight six turbo, both Hurricane engines. One was a high output, HO, the other was a standard output, SO. Both have considerably more power and torque and supposedly better fuel economy and just an overall better design than the Hemi. And I thought, okay, all right, you know, I'm not really down with it, but it is what it is. This is all they have. I'm going to take a shot at it. I figured, you know, worst case scenario, it turns out to be a disaster. And I'll just follow the journey along on video and share it with my subscribers. No big deal. Oh, man. Yeah, no big deal at all. Little did I know at the time when I signed my name on that dotted line that I was giving away a great truck. Honestly, I was trading in the best truck for something completely unknown. And as it turns out, for those of you that have been following along, something that was going to lead me down a path of despair. Not literally, but figuratively speaking anyway. It's been a pretty big nightmare, and I'm here to tell you in this video that nightmare did not end when I took it to the dealership. I sent it to them to have it repaired again for check engine lights, flashing check engine lights, random misfires, communication loss between the transmission control module and the instrument cluster and the body control I mean, just 18 codes on a 2025 Ram, a brand new truck with only 5,500 miles on the odometer. Yep, it was sitting right here with all these other cars. And I decided it's probably not safe to drive it any further with the check engine light flashing. So I sent it to the dealer, and that's where my trouble began. So I got a hold of the roadside assistance that's included with my new truck, and I told them, hey, I need this thing hauled up to the city. This location, you guys might be able to tell, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, you know, out in the country. And it's about a 60-mile jog to the city where I wanted that car taken. They said, no, sir. Unless you want to pay $750 to tow it there, we will not tow it there. And I said, well, that dealership already has experience with my broken truck, and I kind of like to take it back to them since they already know the situation. And I'm not paying $750 to tow my broken truck through you guys when I could literally hire my own tow truck and pay maybe a third of the price. And that's at the top end to have it towed. So that was the first disaster, which was averted thanks to David Stanley. I called my buddy up there, Tony, and he handles everything for me. And Tony said, you know what? He said, don't even worry about it. He said, that is BS. He said, I'm going to get it towed for you, and we're going to get it up here. And you know what? He did. Man of his word, he did. He got it done. And tow truck came. They got the truck, and that's where I'm going to stop. And I'm going to include a clip right here. And I want you guys to comment below and tell me if you see anything wrong with what's happening in this clip. Yeah, most of you probably got it. Some of you probably didn't, and that's okay. I'll explain it to you. In fact, because of that very clip, I added twice the security cameras to my property. I can see literally every angle of everything on this property now, just because in case something like this were to ever happen again, I certainly want better footage than what I just had to show you guys. So, the ones of you that got it, congratulations. Here's your gold star. For the rest of you, let me explain what happened. That truck is a four-wheel drive, all right? It is a 4x4, and you cannot tow that truck with the front wheels on the ground. If you're going to tow it that way, it would need dollies, is what I'm trying to say. You would need to put dollies underneath the front wheels so that there's no possibility of them turning, because there's no pump pressure with the vehicle off. Now, yes, there is I think anyway, I don't remember, it's been so long since I've seen my truck. I think there is a neutral button for the transfer case, but I honestly can't remember for sure. There's also a two-wheel drive button on the transfer case. Now, this is an electronic transfer case, not the old mechanical style where you got to jog it with your hand. That didn't look right. Anyway, I got a hold immediately, by the way, of the tow truck driver. Immediately, when I saw him rolling off that, I texted him, I said, hey, whoa. I said, you can't tow it like that. At least I don't think you can. But I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, right? And he said, I've been doing this for 30 years. It's fine. And I was like, okay. And I got a hold of my buddy, Tony David Stanley. I said, listen, I'm no expert here, but I'm kind of concerned that they just towed this thing with the front wheels on the ground. And no, they did not remove the front drive shaft. No, they did not. They literally picked it up and drove off with it. And it's a 60-mile drive to the city. And it's all highway. You know, everything out here is between 55 and 80 miles an hour. Oh man, yeah, we're talking major issues. And Tony told me, he said, listen, I don't know much about this kind of stuff myself. He said, but I just talked to him and he said it's fine. And it's all going to be okay. And if there's any problems, he's going to stand behind it. So not to worry, you can absolutely tow that truck with the front wheels on the ground. And I'll bet a lot of you guys out there are probably typing your comments right now, and you agree. Well, maybe it would be worth explaining to me why I'm getting a brand new transfer case installed in my brand new truck. Yep. Yeah, 2025 Ram with 5,000 miles on the odometer. And they had to order a whole new transfer case. And I am still worried that there could be transmission damage as well. Now, I know a lot of you out there, you are towing experts. I get it. You've done this for 40 years. You did it your whole life. You've towed thousands of cars, trucks, vans, just like mine, front wheels on the ground, and it's always fine. And that's great. You know, that's a wonderful thought, and maybe that's even true. Perhaps you have towed thousands of customers' cars in that manner, and perhaps it's always been fine, at least as far as you know. You don't know if 20,000 miles later, that customer's car blew up. Maybe their transmission went out, maybe their transfer case went out, and maybe they didn't connect the dots that it was because of the towing. So maybe you just got really lucky. I'm here to tell you one thing though, guys, and that is, if it's okay to tow that truck with the front wheels on the ground, even if you can put the transfer case into neutral, or even if you can put it into two-wheel drive, all right, there are buttons for two-wheel drive, I know that, but I can't remember if there's a button for neutral. But even if there are, let's just go with best case scenario. You can absolutely put that transfer case in neutral. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, I looked up the electronic book from the manufacturer on that exact truck. All right, that exact spec truck. I pulled up the owner's manual, and you know what was in the owner's manual? Instructions on how to tow it should it break down. And let me tell you what it specifically says in the owner's manual. It specifically says you are to never, ever, ever, under any freaking circumstances, to tow this truck with the front wheels on the ground. Ever. The book says on a trailer, is what I'm trying to say, is the way you're supposed to do it. You cannot tow it by the rear wheels with the fronts on the ground. You can't do it. The only way you'd be able to get away with it is if you put dollies under those front wheels so that the front wheels were not actually turning when the truck was driving. Now, everybody assured me that this was okay, and then I found the owner's manual, and then I went up to the dealership and I talked to a guy who doesn't want to be named. Let's just say he's a guy with a lot of integrity, and he's also a guy with a hell of a lot of pull over there at the service center of David Stanley. And as soon as I told him, I said, look, I said, here's the problem. Number one, the truck is already unreliable. I'm considering just filing a lemon law on this thing. And he understood. I said, now I have to worry about if my transfer case was damaged. Is my differential going to be damaged? Is my transmission going to be damaged? I said it could be an issue that pops up in 5 miles. It could be an issue that pops up in 30,000 miles, 40,000 miles. I can't predict it. I don't know. I said, all I know is the factory book on this truck says you can't tow it that way. And he was like, please tell me they had dollies under it. I said, no, they did not. And I showed him the video, and he was like, he got angry. He got more angry than me, actually. And he said, well, he said, there you go. He said, looks like we're going to put a transfer case in. And I told him, I said, wait, man, hold on. Maybe there's a solution. I told him I'm actually considering trading it, because I was actually like actively talking to Tony while I was there. I was like, Tony, man, please, can we just get me out of this? You know, Tony had been saying that for a while. They were talking about maybe buying me out of the truck or taking the truck back, basically, and just getting me out of it and putting me into something else. At this point, unfortunately, they already sold my old truck. I would have taken my old truck back, but it's gone. So I'd have to trade into something else. And at this point, I don't even care. Just nothing with a hurricane. Nothing with a hurricane. And I told Tony, I said, here's the other thing. I am not eating any negative equity on this truck because I drove it 5,000 miles. I absolutely refuse to become upside down on this truck because it's broken, and you guys are going to have to, you know, buy me out of it. Now, with that said, they don't have to buy me out of it, okay? The dealership, a lot of people think that somehow the dealership is responsible for this mess, and they're not. The dealership has no obligation to me or you after the sale, other than to maintain and manage the warranty issues that arise. And that could be any dealer. David Stanley is literally not on the hook for anything. They're not required by law to do anything to help me out of this truck. It's not their fault that the truck is a dud, all right? That's not their fault. So if they were to let me out of it and take the truck back, buy the truck back, that's nice of them to help me out, okay? Don't misunderstand. They don't have to do that, and they don't have to do anything to help me at all other than handle the warranty claims as I bring them in and repair them to the best of their ability, or admit that they can't repair them, at which point I file a lemon law claim. Here's another comment that I've seen a lot lately. It's told me I need to take the truck and just drop it off at the dealer's lot. Just give it back to them and forget about it. Well, let me tell you, those of you that think that, I'm assuming probably have a lot of repossessions on your record, or you've never bought a car before on contract, finance a car, because that's not how that works. You can't just take a car and abandon it on somebody else's property. David Stanley does not own that car. Stellantis, Chrysler, Ram, Dodge, whoever the hell they are anymore, Fiat, they don't own that car either. Okay, the bank that I financed it through, they own the truck. All right, so if I abandon it on someone else's property, they're just going to call the bank, or they're going to call a tow truck. Tow truck's going to haul it off and impound it. It's going to rack up storage fees, and eventually the finance company is going to come get it. They're going to look at me and say, hey, if you're not going to pay for this truck and all these charges, it's going to be a voluntary repossession. They're going to sell it, and anything I'm upside down, they're going to come after me for, and it's going to be on my credit report as a repo. You can't just, I don't know where people get this idea that you buy something, you just take it back. This isn't Walmart, okay? This isn't Target. It's not Burger King. This isn't have it your way. All right, you signed for something, you own it, you're obligated to pay for it regardless of the circumstances. It's your problem, not the banks and not the dealerships. So I know what you're thinking. Okay, fine. So you take it back and they're fixing it. They're going to put a transfer case in it. Hopefully nothing else is wrong with it and we're done, right? No, no, we're not done. Because I filmed another video just a couple days ago. See, Here's the other bad thing about my truck breaking down and them now grenading my transfer case. I don't have a truck, right? I need a truck. That's why I bought one, because believe it or not, I do a lot of hauling. You guys probably don't realize it because I typically don't film it, but you'll notice right here is a Cadillac Escalade EXT. I bought this 260,000 mile behemoth for a reason, for towing. I actually found this before I found that Hummer H2. So I purchased this because I was desperate. I was in a hurry. Like, I was literally desperate for a truck. And I bought this. I got it for $3,000 from a dealer in Tulsa at an auction. They listed it as a red light, which meant it probably had transmission problems or transfer case problems or differential. Who knows what problems it has, especially with 260,000 miles. But I decided, let's take a chance on it because maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get me something I can tow with for cheap. And you want to know something? this thing's more reliable than my brand new truck. And instead of paying $60,000 for a brand new truck, I gave $3,000. Literally three. That's $3,000 for this. I've driven the living hell out of it. Let me tell you something. It's a great, reliable truck. Has a couple issues we're going to work on in an upcoming video, but like seriously, nothing major. But you may notice I have a big trailer here. I haul lawn equipment, right? I've got a lot of lawn equipment that I have to haul back and forth because I have to maintain 2 out of my 3 properties myself. Well, need a truck for that, and that trailer's got some heavy stuff in it. All right, and it ain't a lightweight trailer. Then we got my car hauler over here. Okay, it's a good 20-footer tilt car hauler. Yeah, I need to be able to haul this around too. So, well, I bought the Cadillac, and then I found the Hummer. I found the Hummer, and I was like, okay, I think the Hummer is way cooler, but the Hummer is more, you know, that's more of a look at me, pay attention to me, you need to see me type of truck. You know what I mean? It is a truck, and it does tow because I've been hauling the hell out of stuff with that thing lately. Seriously. I've used that as my tow pig, man. And while it only gets 10 miles a gallon and it's completely impractical, it is absolutely awesome to drive. It is just driving it, you feel so big. You feel like nobody's gonna run you off the road. Nobody's gonna brake check you because nobody wants this tank rammed up their ass. You know what I mean? This is literally my daily, man. I drive this truck, and even though I loved the Rebel and all the tech and how nice and new and fresh and the smells and everything, I'm going to tell you right now that this is a far superior truck. Hell, I'll even go this far. The Escalade is a superior truck to that. I've used both of these as dailies, and both of them have been great. I haven't had to spend any money to replace anything on either one of them yet. So, far superior truck. But let's continue with the story, because we're not done. So I go up to the dealership because my tow straps were in the bed, right? I messaged Tony. It was after hours, and I said, hey man, I need to go to the dealership. I need to see if my truck is outside because I got tow straps in the bed and I had to leave early the next morning to go to Tulsa. He said, yeah, man, go check it out. See if the truck is outside where it's in a place that's accessible. Thankfully, it was. It was the only orangish red with black graphics Raptor. I wish at this point, Rebel out there. It was the only one. So I knew it was my truck. But, you know, when you see something bad, you see something wrong, you know how in your mind, even though you know that this is really happening, somehow your brain tries to trick you, you know, and it's like, nah, it's not happening. I started walking up to the truck, like literally just walking up to it, and I noticed, well, I noticed something really big, and I thought immediately, I better pull out my camera and film it, because this can't be my truck. This can't be my truck. Well, here's that video. Check it out. All I can say is this better not be my fucking truck. This is my truck. Yeah, this is my truck. It's got my Okie Express. It's got my Pike Pass. This is my truck. As soon as I walked up to it, I saw a giant dent in the side. You gotta be joking me. Look at that. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And look at the scrape. What is going on here? Scrapes down the side. I just came to get my tow straps, man. That's it. I just came to get my tow straps. out of the bed. It's got a giant dent in the side. So, as you probably realized from the video, that's my truck. It was absolutely my truck. I had to use my app to unlock it and get into it, and I didn't film any of that. I just wanted to film the walking up to it, and that's like literally, I knew it was my truck. I knew it was, and it is. It's absolutely my truck that has that giant, gnarly dent in the side. And you know what it looks like? To me, it looks like a pickup truck. Either someone opened the door. We had really bad winds out here. The wind probably caught it and bang. You know what I mean? Because it's a perfect line. It really is a perfect line, like a door, just bam, right into it, man. And then to make matters worse, not only is there a nasty dent that's got these weird curling effects to the top and bottom, but then there's these scratches that just run, like these massive scratches that run down the side. It's a brand new truck, man. I haven't even had the opportunity to put a dent or a scratch on it myself. And somebody else has bang scratched. They've just had their way with their man. So yeah, needless to say, I'm a lot pissed off. It's just one thing after another with that truck. And part of the reason I think I've fallen so in love with this beast, even though it makes no sense to daily drive at all, none. It's little things like this. What is this coating that they put on? I can't remember the name of it, but you know what I'm talking. It's got this nasty, it's an awful coating. Now, you probably wouldn't do this to your nice car with your fingernails, right? Because fingernails I'm not going to, because I would be afraid I'd leave some kind of surface scratches or something on my beautiful paint job. But on this, it's Rhino line. That's what it's like, a Rhino liner. This whole truck is covered in this. You know what I mean? Oh, crap. No. Oh, man. Right? I don't care. And you're not going to dent this. Okay, not easily anyway. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying it ain't going to be easy denting this truck. And as far as scratches go, there's no shine to this paint at all, man. It's great. I don't have to worry about scratches. I don't have to worry about little tree limbs when I drive by. I don't have to worry about someone, getting out their key and going, oh, this guy must be a Trump supporter or an Elon and key in my car. I ain't got to worry about it, man. You could scratch this thing till your little heart is content. You know what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. In fact, if I got a key in my pocket, I don't. I was going to scratch it for you. I thought, boy, it'd be fun to, there we go. Now we're scratching. Look at that. Scratches. Ooh. Except, you know what's happening? It's not actually scratching the truck. It's actually filing my nails for me. Oh, yeah. There we go. Look at that. It's like a free manicure. Look at that nail. Look how nice that is. Now, the best part is, you get it wet, wash that right off. All right? Gone. Now, it's not for everybody, but I do like it. I do like that you're not going to scratch it, at least not easily, and you're not going to dent it easily, even if you tried. People don't think about brake checking you, because in a new vehicle, if someone brake checks you, well, your vehicle's liable to slam on the brakes for you, right? Because new cars are really safe. This is not safe. In fact, I don't think anything I own out here is safe. If you brake check me, you're getting hit. You know what I mean? Like, unless I'm just in a really good mood and not willing to run into you, which typically I'm more than willing to slam into the back of you, because I just don't care. If you cut me off and slam on your brakes, yeah, you're probably going to get something run up in you. You know what I mean? It's probably going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. And the best part is, all these cars and trucks that I got, they're so cheap, I don't care. It's a wonderful feeling not to have to care. Well, unfortunately, when you spend $60,000 on a new truck, you care, and you care a lot. So as far as them buying me out of the truck, I don't know, man. The conversations kind of stopped happening about it recently. So, I knew that most likely they weren't going to buy me out of the truck, because why would they? They're not obligated to. It'd be a nice thing to do be a nice gesture, but they're not obligated to. And then the guy that I was dealing with over at the service department, I told him when he was like, we're going to have to put a transfer case, it's going to cost thousands of dollars, and he was heated, seriously. And I appreciated that. I really did. I appreciated that somebody felt my pain, that somebody was just as upset as me over what had happened, because up until that point, it was kind of like, oh, really? That happened? Oh, man. Yeah, we're sorry. That sucks. It just sucks. It sucks. Yeah, it sucks. I got 60 stacks in this truck. It sure as hell does suck. Now, this guy has more integrity in his little finger than most people have in their whole body, man. I told him, I said, listen, if you don't want to throw a transfer case in it, just hold on a minute. Let me see what we're going to work out, because they're talking about buying it from me or trading me or swapping. I don't know, but they're talking about doing something. And you know what he told me? And I didn't even realize at the time that I was kind of a jerk for suggesting it. I just didn't think about it. But he told me, he said, sir, I cannot in good conscience send that truck out on the road knowing what I know. He said somebody else is going to buy that truck, and it's going to become their problem. Somebody else is going to end up potentially stranded on the side of the road, maybe with their family, because I didn't do my job and replace the parts that I feel are damaged from improper towing of the vehicle. And I kind of took a breath, and I was like, oh, whoa, I didn't even think of that. Wow, integrity at a car lot, at a car dealership. It shocked me. It really did when he said that. And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of it. I really didn't. I was too busy, unfortunately, thinking about myself and the position that I was in. I wasn't thinking that by trading it off, it was going to just get resold and somebody else was going to get stuck with a bad truck. It wasn't something I was even thinking about. It made me feel really selfish for a minute. And I said, yeah, you're right. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do what needs to be done then. So that means I'm on the hook for the truck for indefinitely, because who knows how long it's going to take to get a transfer case. Who knows how long it's going to take to put the transfer case in. And now there's a dent, and they have accepted responsibility for the dent. And they are, oh, by the way, the transfer case is not at my cost. Okay, the dealership is eating that. They're also eating the massive dent, and hopefully they can polish out the scratches. They also agreed to do a ceramic coating on the truck for free, which is nice. You guys know that I usually have Brian at the auto spa do stuff like that, and it's not cheap. Like, it could run you a couple $1,000s easy, and a big vehicle like that could run you even more. So yeah, I appreciate that they're going the extra mile by putting the ceramic coating on. It's a nice gesture, but to be honest, like, I still don't want the truck. Now, they told me that they think they have a fix for this check engine light and the random misfires and the communication codes. They think they have it fixed. Apparently, there is a new software update that came out that addresses and should solve this problem. And if that's the case, well, then I guess we're good, and this video series will be done. I'll get the truck back. I'll make a video. We'll drive it. We'll idle it. And we'll make sure it doesn't break down anymore. And then I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. I really love the truck, and I would like to keep it. I'd like to use it to haul and tow, but now I really don't even want it anymore. And to be honest with you, I love driving this thing more than I ever loved driving the Rebel. And this has no technology, none. It's got a couple tins under the back seat with an amp. It doesn't have any navigation. It doesn't have digital gauges. It doesn't have adaptive cruise control. It doesn't have blind spot monitoring. It doesn't have cross traffic interceptions. And it has nothing. There's nothing. There's no safety nannies other than anti-lock brakes. You know, it's pretty old school. And I've really grown attached to it, and I've really enjoyed driving it. Like, the videos I make just praising this thing, even though it gets horrible gas mileage, it's not for show, it's not for video content. I am genuinely, absolutely, madly in love with this horrible looking truck. And I love it. I know it's ugly. I know it is. I know it's ugly, and that's part of why I love it. I finally found something that's uglier than me. All right, that's a movie quote. Very few of you are going to get it because you're not old enough. All right, but there's going to be one or two of you out there that's going to remember. You're going to remember. I finally found something that's uglier than me. Nah, that's not true. Okay, I am way better looking than this truck. Maybe. But anyway, I really have totally fallen in love with this. And the best part of it is, for $9,000, I got this Hummer, and for $3,000, I got the Cadillac Escalade EXT. So I have two trucks with the same engine, same transmission, basically the same truck, just different platforms. You know what I mean? They're both GMT 800s, but the Cadillac is a totally different truck than the Hummer. It's totally, it rides so much better. It's so much quieter. It's so much more comfortable. Like, it is so nice to just cruise and just shh and enjoy. Seriously, it's a nice truck for $3,000. So for a grand total of $12,000, I have two beefy trucks. And if I want to daily drive this, I can. And if I want to swap it out and drive the Hummer, I can. And if this breaks down, it's not the end of the world. You know why? Because I've got the Hummer. Or if the Hummer breaks down, not a big deal. I've got this. I can drive the other one while the one's in service. With the Ram, it doesn't work that way, because when it inevitably breaks down, I don't have a truck. I don't have anything. I'm left to get a ride down here so that I can use one of my lot cars to get around, which, you know, kind of sucks. And to be honest with you, they offered me a loaner car. Unfortunately, they didn't have any in stock. They were like, it was great. They said, we're going to hook you up with an enterprise car tomorrow. So I was like, all right, well, can I at least get a ride home? So they gave me a Lyft ride home. And then the next day, Enterprise called me and they said, hey, so you need a loaner car? Well, we don't have any, but you're on the list. And at that point, I said, you know what? Don't worry about the loaner car. The guy was like, no, I'll keep you in the system. I said, nah, don't worry about it. I said, I got a car lot with a ton of cars. I mean, I could drive a little itsy bitsy BMW i3. I've got plenty of cars, just that's fine, you know. And if you're not going to give me a truck, then what the hell good is it anyway? Makes no sense. Might as well just drive one of my own cars, and at least this way I can write the mileage off. If I'm using a rental car, nope, can't write the mileage off on a rental car. Can only write the mileage off on your own cars. So where do we go next? I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know. Because my truck is still not fixed, and then it's got the dent that's got to be fixed, and then they got to ceramic coat it, and hopefully all those scratches come out of it, and then hopefully the flash fixes all the computer problems and the check engine lights flashing. There's a lot going on, and to be completely honest with you, I don't trust the truck anymore. So if they can't fix it this time, I will send it back again for the third time. It has to be 3 times for the same problem. I'll send it back for the third time. After the third time, if they're not able to fix it, I can then file lemon law, which means most likely I have to hire an attorney, or possibly I have 2 friends that are lawyers. One of them is right here locally. In fact, he filed on that Chevy Corvette for me. He's also the guy that sold me this house and gave me a great deal on it. $24,000 for an acre of land with a 4-bedroom house. All right. Needed some work. It still needs work, but super nice guy. And he's the guy that helped me on the 2019 Corvette that I bought brand spanking new. And we had the same problem. It just broke and they never got it right. Never got the car right. And finally, we're able to settle. He actually filed the suit for me. We sued General Motors, which is no easy task, guys. I don't know if you know this, but suing a big company like GM that has, you know, billions of dollars at their disposal, it can go a couple different ways. Thankfully, GM was like, nah, they sent me a check. They're like, here's 10 grand. And I agreed. I was like, fine, give me $10,000. I traded off the Corvette and I walked away. And I have never gone back to General Motors again for a new vehicle. I am totally against General Motors at this point, except for the old stuff. I think, honestly, with the way things are today, the way things are built and made, nothing's made in America anymore. Everything is shipped overseas. You know, all the money is going to other places, and they don't even make good products anymore. Everything that ends up getting shipped over here turns out being like it's a turd. Electronic parts continuously failing. You got wiring harnesses that don't fit right, that continuously break. I mean, you've got chips that are defective literally from the gate. You buy a new car, it's got bad chips in it. Oops, don't know what we're gonna do, because guess what? National back order on everything. They just don't make things like they used to anymore, man. They really don't. And nothing is made here And that's where I'm going to end this video, because that's a rant for a whole different day. Actually, that's a rant for a whole different channel. I love my old cars, and I'm getting to the point as I get older where it just doesn't make any damn sense to spend $60,000 on a car that was assembled in Mexico and America with parts made in China that's unreliable straight out of the gate, when I could just buy some old school American stuff, you know, some just good old American cars for little to no money, drive the living hell out of them, and enjoy them without worry. With that, I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time to watch my video. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button, and I know you will. Drop those comments down below. I can't wait to read them. Till next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.